Welcome to another edition of Breaking Bank, sponsored by Liberty Aid, libertyaid.org. Debt removal, having a non taxable trust, etc., etc. The only way to escape, or not really escape the money system, it's really how to use the money system to your advantage. See, there are loopholes out there. I'm an accountant, so go ahead and use the loopholes that are set up for the elite to use, and they use them, so you can go ahead and use them too. Okay, so that's all it is. Everything I do is legal. It's just accounting information, how to keep your books in a way that it works out for you. They do it for themselves. Why don't you do it too? Everything I do is proven. Okay, and we have a great question. This is a Q&A today. This is about the common law, irrevocable ecclesiastical trust available only at Liberty Aid. This is a question about that trust, and it's uh, does it incur taxes? Okay, is the main question. Anyway, I'm gonna read the question. Thank you, Daniel, for this excellent question. I've gotten it so many times. I don't know why I haven't done a video on this, and so thanks for the reminder to do a video. And your work is going great in Asheville. Daniel Wicker on Facebook. Check him out. And his Healing Arts Guild. A lot of talented people working with him, and he's under the signed trust with Jesus Christ. So God bless his success. And great question. Let me get to it. All right. What happens if and when the IRS attempts to investigate the money that is put into the trust? I'm trying to bring more friends on board, and they're worried about fraud and money laundering charges. What if, as the administrator of the trust, you need your basic needs met to carry out the duties of the trust? How would one operate in public in reference to the trust to further the charitable mission of the trust? They are worried that this may be a short-term solution, but bite them in the ass in the long run, and I don't have any real answers for them other than faith. Okay, well, let's first deal with the end issue, and then let's go through the rest of the questions. Okay, good questions. Faith is not knowing anything, and so having no knowledge, you can give no knowledge. So I kind of disagree with that you only have faith, Daniel. My understanding is you have a signed trust with an EIN and you bank with it. So, and if you don't, why aren't you? I mean, you're given that. I've given you instruction for, years now, I think. And if you haven't done it, well, you have nothing to share with anyone. But my understanding is you have done that. So you don't have faith. You are operating a trust account. I know I am, and I know many others are operating a trust account. Okay, that's the first thing. So it's not only faith. Faith is not knowing anything. Also, I post proof of every single thing that I do myself first, and I post the proof. It's all in video. Breaking Bank, go through the series, all the information you're asking about, Daniel. Your friends could receive by watching the video series, all the proof. And I'll reference some of that proof here in this video. They can go get it in the other videos. This, my work is tried as, no one knows truth. I get that. Okay, that's what your question about. No one knows truth. So that's why I post these videos, so people can have truth. Okay? So let's go through the rest of your kind of step-by-step questions here, now that we've dealt with that. Okay, what happens if and when the IRS took to investigate the money that has been in the trust? That's a big question. The IRS investigating things. This this is a system of tell on yourself. I guess from your question you don't understand that, but if you tell on yourself, then they will investigate you. In other words, you told you did something. So then they have to look into it. If you don't tell them anything, they don't look into anything. So it's always that simple. And so these fear-mongering people that have these worries have no basis for the worries other than they watch TV and they're afraid of the IRS because TV. You know what I mean? So, okay, TV, got it. The IRS. See, knowledge is the thing that removes fear. Knowledge removes trepidation. Oh, I don't know. So that's why I post knowledge, truth, my outcomes first, and so that's why they're there, to inform others and to prove to them, not discuss, not say, hey, wouldn't this be nice if? No, I post the proof. Okay? Everything. So go look at the proof in video form. Don't take my word on it right here. You have to go watch those videos. Now let's start with a discussion of the common law. We'll have to go through it all because I don't want to leave anything out, because I know I've said all this to you before, Daniel, and I know you still have the same question. And I know many others do, so I'm okay that you have this. So I'm not sure why my methods haven't gotten through, but I'm going to try and get it in this one video. So right back if I skip something, please, or in the comments for the video. Okay. So we're in hell. We're in, whatever you want to call it. Maybe we're not in hell. We're under a dome and no one can escape. That's obvious. Rainbows prove it. You're not allowed to go see the edge of the dome. All maps are hosed. Everything, and everything here is a lie. You have to understand that everything you're taught from birth till now has not been true. So we're in a system of lies in basically a prison cell. Okay? So in that prison cell, there are two powers. Two. Duality, right? Black and white. Everything is black and white inside this prison. There are only two powers. There's God and God's shadow. Okay, duality. Okay? Only God is real. But God does cast a shadow inside duality of fear. If you're with God, you have love like me, and you refuse fear because that's against God. So, just fear is the concept that God doesn't run at all. So that's opposed to God. That's the antithesis of God. So you're not under God's law if you have fear. So it's the opposite team, right? That's the devil, God's shadow, right? Oh, we're in duality. I don't know if God runs everything. I should be so scared. I should be worrying about the IRS. I should be worrying about this. I should be worrying about that. All the things on TV, like war. War has never happened. That's a hoax. All these fears that people have are based on things they've never seen. They've never interacted with the IRS. They've never done anything but send them a check. They've never been investigated. IRS doesn't investigate anyone. They audit. They may audit someone if someone gives them a piece of paper to have them audited. Anyway, but back to the two teams. Okay. So that's all that's going on inside the dome. If you have fear, you stay in the dome, right? So there's a common law trust. Why did I bring up both teams? There's a common law trust. So there are only two. There's one moment of choice maybe in a human's life. The rest is predetermined. All of it. So your one moment is to pick a team. Fear or knowledge and love of God. Those are the two teams here. There is no other team. So there's a trust for the fear team. In America, it's called the In God We Trust. Right? I've done that video. You can go look it up. We is another name of Satan, God's shadow. God's shadow is infinitely of many shadow shades. How's that? There's so many groups and organizations, and God hands out little snippets of power here under the dome for the people with fear and controlling and not loving others, but controlling them. There's this whole fear game under here, and what's there? Common law. The common law of Satan says, do as thou wilt. Do anything you want, and then what? You come back into hell under the dome in prison, and you accept that. The ones that run hell, they accept that. They're fine. They run hell. Do anything you want. That's the common law of the In God We Trust, right? What's the common law of the trust, for Jesus Christ? The golden rule, everyone knows it, right? Do unto others as you would have done unto you, right? So you love others as you would yourself, right? So you stay in honesty and truth and so on, and you follow God's orders. That's it. So Jesus saved us, so there's nothing to worry about. Then Mary Baba came and he said, don't worry, be happy. Why would you worry? Jesus Christ already gave his life and saved everyone. So the thing is, all war and everything is a hoax. Like, they can no longer do anything to us because Jesus gave his life for us. So there's nothing to fear. The IRS, you cannot fear them if you're with God. And so you cannot sign with God and fear the IRS. Those two things do not go together. Do you understand? Okay, so those are the two common laws. There's one moment of choice in a human's life. The rest is predetermined. Because if you're on the team of fear, then you fear everything and you never get anything done with because you fear the IRS and da-da-da, right? You have no knowledge. You only have fear because you watch TV and stuff, right? You read the news, you listen to Hive, it's all lies. So you have fear. So you operate under the common law of Satan. You have chosen to be fearful, so you stay with Satan. Stay under the dome. You don't evolve. Your consciousness never awakens, ever. And you stay under the dome, and you're here for this lifetime for sure. You never leave. Okay, so that's your friends. That's their choice. To have fear is to be with God's shadow, and to stay in hell. Period. You stay in prison for your fear. You're not ready yet. You're not ready to go to heaven. You don't love God enough. That's all that's happening here in prison. Okay, so those are the two common laws, so we understand that. Irrevocable is the next word in the type of trust, right? You can't go back on the law of God, all right? Your God, then that puts you off the team, you see? So if you sign up with Jesus Christ and you just don't do God's law, well, you're not with him. So you get to stay in hell. Okay. But if you sign up with Satan, here's the thing. They tell you, oh, there's nothing you can do to get out of this. You can't get out of the Illuminati. You can't get out of the Freemasons, etc., etc., etc. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can sign this contract with God and you are untouchable. That's the essence of my work. Okay? The things that have happened to that I've done, I prove that God is all powerful, and that there is no concern and no fear. 16 cases I had against banks. All the judges in Sarasota County, I was told by a judge in the courtroom in a court case, that all the judges had sat down and discussed what I was doing, and basically asked the bankers in the room to stop trying to collect debt from me, and I would stop coming to their courtroom and bringing up the truth, a truce, and I agreed to it. So everything I say is true. They just don't want me exposing the truth, like your friends don't want to know the truth. Once they know the truth, they'll have to say, nuh-uh, because why? They're fearful and they're cowards, so they stay in hell. Okay, but now common law or irrevocable, you can't go back on it, right? Ecclesiastical, what does that word mean in the trust type? It means that if you follow that common law of your God or goddess, right? Goddess is Satan, that's God's shadow, is the female form, the goddess, the training, all that nonsense. Anyway, if you stay with that, whatever common law, you don't revoke it, it becomes ecclesiastical. Your chosen God from your actions and your pledge, your oath, will back you. The common law of Satan, you will stay in hell, you will stay in the dome. That is what you decide. That is the In God We Trust /USA Inc. Go look it up on Dun & Bradstreet right now. Go Google Dun & Bradstreet, search, enter, look up In God We Trust, choose, and that's on the Dun & Bradstreet search. Then choose the state as Pennsylvania. Up pops In God We Trust /USA Inc. The United States is a hoax. It's a demolished building in, the bad part of Philly. That's all it is. Okay? The Declaration of Independence is a declaration of trust. And it's on the Philadelphia Dun & Bradstreet. Go look it up. Okay, so That's the United States. They're a hoax. And everyone fears them, so they do what they say. No wars are real. They're not allowed to shoot anybody, kill anybody. They don't do that. You think they do because they put it on the news all day long. But they don't. And I prove that. I walk into their courtroom after taking the banker's money. Right up there, tell them, pull out your gun, put it to my head. No, God won't let you, see? God is all powerful. They have nothing. They have dirt on their hips, turned into like shiny things called guns that shoot dirt. They wear, dirt on their chest, 5-pointed dirt. I'm with Satan. I'm with the cage. I'm with hell. I'm with the ruler of the cage. So I'm an idiot, and I'm letting you know. Yay. So they're cowards, like your friends. So they're uninformed, or they have fear because they're uninformed. But my knowledge exists. So your friends could watch the videos and could come out of the knowledge, but they're choosing not to, you see. And you could too know and then answer the question. That's what this video is about. Sorry I haven't, compressed it into one video before. Probably my fault. Okay. So that's a common law irrevocable ecclesiastical trust. That's you're either signed with Satan, right? As every soul with a United States birth certificate is legally signed with Satan to stay in hell, unless they have a refuting, document signed that rebuts and negates the In God We Trust documents, which is what the common law irrevocable ecclesiastical trust at Liberty Aid does. It's the only contract where you can sign with God under the dome and leave the dome. Okay, you can leave and go to heaven if you follow the law. Okay, but you see, me finding the In God We Trust, who would, if you're signed with the In God We Trust, right? Sure, you pay if you're with Satan, because an LLC, a C corp, a person, a nonprofit, a trust from Secretary of State. Those are all sub-corporations of the In God We Trust. They're sub-entities of that trust. So you get a trust from Liberty Aid. It's on the same level with that trust, okay? Who does the In God We Trust pay up to? The IRS is beneath it. It collects money and gives it to the In God We Trust. It's their debt collector, okay? So that's all going to the In God We Trust. So who would the In God We Trust pay up to? See, only Satan's above that, and the payment is not financial. You pay with your soul, you stay in hell, okay? Okay, that's what, see, there's nothing above it. So it can't pay taxes up. Same thing, the trust with Liberty Aid, it's at the same level. Do you see? You're with God. And does God want Satan's money? No. You go to heaven. That's your outcome. You go to hell over here. That's the tax, right? Above the In God We Trust. Beneath it, all those subcorporate, yeah, they got to pay a tax, from being on the In God We Trust. But this trust over here, the one with Liberty Aid, it doesn't. There's no one to pay. You create your own. You're here on the same level with this over here, the In God We Trust. So you don't pay up to God. You go to heaven. You follow the law, and then you go to heaven. That's taxes. Okay, now let's go further into it. Okay, because when you sign up on, you're getting your EIN, and this is where Daniel's cause for concern comes up, and all his other friends and everyone else, right? You're getting an EIN, so your private trust, it's still private, has a public number, so it can bank under the In God We Trust system. Well, there is no other system to bank under. It's a forced system. Is there another way to get a bank of it? No, they won't let you. It's not allowed. They don't let you. So they create the only system in here. So you're forced to use a system. So you can get an EIN for that trust and bank and so on, and own assets and everything. It's still a private trust. It's interacting in the public In God We Trust system. That doesn't that doesn't denigrate or lower the trust itself. It just allows it to interact with the In God We Trust and other organizations under it. Okay, so you're getting that EIN, and that's where this whole thing comes up in your mind, right? Okay. You're getting that EIN on IRS.gov. That's where you get every EIN for free. The IRS gives them out, and you're clicking through the buttons, and then it'll up this very scary pop up. Oh, I got this pop up, from the IRS. It must be real. Must be legit. What does it say? Oh, for if you have any income, you gotta fill out form body bada boom, and we mean it, yo. That's what you bought and your friend. Okay, so how would a trust create income? Is that possible? Even is it possible for a trust to create income? Yes, it is. A trust under the In God We Trust, like they have other quote trusts, which have certain rules under this trust. Misnomer, right? But it's like a sub trust of this trust. Those have to pay taxes. Those can incur income. Those have rules and stuff like that. They can have to do that. So that's why that's in there as a question. Okay, but see, you don't incur income. Grants go in to this trust only from grantors. It's not going to it's not going to have any taxable events. It's just not going to have them. You see, so there's no revenue. There's grants. There okay. There's no, you as see Christian Ministries Trust. I'm a trustee for Christian Ministries Trust. Uh, I'm administrator for Christian Ministries Trust. If you look in a thesaurus, a synonym for administer is minister. Since the name of the trust is Christian, it is. That literally, legally makes myself as trustee a Christian minister. So legally, signed with God, that's the way it works. So that legally makes this trustee a Christian minister. And so, that's a difficult position to overcome from the IRS standpoint. And see, knowing about the In God We Trust and where it sits, they don't want that exposed. That's what I exposed with my 16 court cases that I did in Sarasota. That's why all the judges met in Sarasota and discussed what I was doing. And one of their spokesmen met with myself and all of the lawyers present for the banks in the courtroom and basically asked me to please stop, have a truce, which I agreed to. If they'd stop collecting, I'd stop collecting on them. If they'd stop collecting on my person, I'd stop collecting on them. Fine. I'm moving on to business credit anyway with these trusts and so on. So the person doesn't matter. In fact, I've already gotten it up enough so it's fine where it is. I don't really care. I don't operate the person. It doesn't matter. Eventually, all credit from the person comes around after 7 years. You can even just wait it out. You don't even have to fight them. Yeah, I fight them just to expose it that you can fight. They're easy to beat. It's simple. Okay? So, all right. So you see how with the trusts on the same level, there is no IRS discussion. Okay. But let's go further. Because, okay, let's say you heard from the IRS and they investigate. Okay, well, what would you do, right? You would do the debt removal package. They're a debt collector. They're simply a debt collector. I have copies of their articles of incorporation if anyone wants them. Or if you have any questions, contact at libertyaid.org. The articles of incorporation, a copy of theirs. They incorporated in 1934. In Delaware, it was 3 New Yorkers that did it and signed, and it's a debt collection business. Period. That's all it is. So you use it. Can they validate the debt that you owe? No, they can't for the reasons I just described. So even if you hear from them, the debt removal stuff gets rid of them. My guess is you don't hear from them because. Once I brought this all up in court, that's the reason I told you about the 16 cases and so on. They don't want to hear about that. You see? And they are going to go away. All of my work proves, that your friends should be unworried, that no one should have any fear or worry about the least little anything in their life. I never wear a seatbelt. Not ever. Ever. That would be denying my love of God. Accidents are a hoax. Your friends, grow up. Come on. Okay, so let's move on. Good. First part to the question. Uh, I'm trying to bring more friends on board. They are worried about fraud and money laundering charges. Yes, we did that. What if the administrator of the trust, if as the administrator of the trust, you need your basic needs met to carry out the duties of the trust? Trustees are required to carry out the duties of the trust. That's their trustees. So if they need anything to meet their requirements, they're required to be a good trustee. Of course, you have to meet the trustee's needs to be able to meet the trust needs, or else they can't administer the trust. Obviously. How would one operate in public in reference to the trust to further the charitable mission of the trust? We should serve God. Each individual should serve God. God gives us each our own talents and our own what we should be doing with our life. And so the closer you are to God, in your case, I can say in your work right now, right, you're a healer. God heals. People do not heal. You call the name of God, you do your best, God shows up and heals the individual. So that's what a healer does. That's what I am. I work on healing people's lack of knowledge. So I show up with truth. I ask God to help. He either, lets them know, hey, this is the truth, go link into it. He switches them over in teams, or they don't. I don't. This is the truth. And the truth was out there anyway. I found it. They could have found it, they didn't look. They could be watching these friends of yours. They could be watching my videos right now, but they're not choosing to. The ones that do rarely switch teams. They like running hell. They don't care. They don't understand. They think the best you can do down here has any meaning about how great heaven is. It's nothing. Okay. They are worried that this may be a short-term solution and bite them in the ass in the long run, and I don't have any real answers for them other than well, go watch my videos. Great question. Some questions I don't talk so much into the detail about this, like this one, but this question comes up so often, and I've answered it so many times that I really just wanted to go through it, and I hope this dealt with it. If not, Daniel, please let me know, and I will address it again if need be. Otherwise, God bless your success. Thank you for your support. Jack McCaig with libertyaid.org.